Hello, my name is Makeda Voletta, also known as the Body Scientist and Queen Lioness, and I am a sacred sexual educator and a personal trainer and nutritionist and Afro-diasporic dancer, student of ancient indigenous art all over the world, from all over the world, and matriarchal traditions. And you can check out other videos of mine on those topics on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to increase your orgasmic potential as a woman. Okay, so this is one thing that I speak about a lot, is the connection between spiritual energy and sexual energy. They are of the same continuum. And you find that in all indigenous cultures, that knowledge is there. A lot of it has been buried because of patriarchal traditions taking over, and that's in every continent. A lot of that has to do with religion, especially the world's three main religions: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And I won't get too much into that now. But the understanding and acknowledging the representation of the goddess in ancient art is very important, because the most ancient artifacts found are of nude women, the Venus figurines, okay, where the breasts and the buttocks and the hips and the vulva were emphasized. And you find these figurines all over the planet. And you find depictions of women in ancient art of the goddess for thousands of years before you see any depictions of men in ancient art. And once you do find depictions of men, the first depictions of them are of the baby breastfeeding on the mother, okay? So in matriarchal traditions, everybody acknowledged and respected the fact that we all come from the womb of our mother. It was not about putting down men or anything like that, okay? And under goddess traditions, people often talk about something is not written in stone, okay? So when things are written in stone, it's important for us to pay attention to them. And finding these stone figurines all over the planet. Also, we see orgy scenes, we see women with their legs open, all over the planet, written in stone, okay? Also, when we find depictions of goddesses in India, in Africa, in the Americas, they often are topless. Their nipples are usually exposed. And a lot of people know about chakras, okay? Chakras are vortexes of energy, spinning vortexes of energy that run up and down our spine. However, we have more than those 7 major chakras, as what is spoken about in the East Indian tradition and the Native American tradition, depending on which tribe you're talking about. But generally speaking, in the Native American tradition, there are 9 chakras, 7 up and down the spine and 2 outside the body. But really there are more than that, okay? Those are just talking about the spinal chakras. We also have little mini vortexes and chakras on our nipples, okay? On our clit, spinning around our navel, okay? And our navel, our womb, that's where we connect to people. One of the reasons why I study ancient art so much is because that is where the cosmology, the medicine, the truth is, okay? And I am a student of Afro-diasporic dances. I danced for a Haitian folklore company for years in New York City. I still am a student of Haitian folkloric dance. But one of my favorite dances is a dance called Yanbalou, which you can look up, Y-A-N-B-A-L-O-U. It is a serpent and a water dance, okay? So in the movement, you are embodying and thinking about and moving like fluid, serpentine water and snakes. And the offering for that spirit is an egg. The depiction of that deity, that serpent deity, in art a lot of times is depicted, Damballa is depicted wrapped around a tree, up in a tree. And again, these are things that we consistently find in all cultures, including the Bible with the snake and the tree, okay? Which those stories are more ancient than the Bible, let me say that. And so in the Yanbalou dance, there are movements and embodiments of a serpent in the belly, okay? Almost like a serpent in the belly. Now, if we think about the serpent and we think about cords, and we think about rooting ourselves. A lot of people, there's a lot of things that have been going around the internet about why women should not have too many sexual partners because, you pick up negative energy from people. You pick up the energy from people. Yeah, when you have sex with people, you can pick up both good and bad energy. So my thinking was always, if you have sex with smart people, good people, people who have great qualities and talents, you can absorb those positive things, okay? That's why you don't want to have sex with toxic people and people that have a lot of, craziness going on or things that you don't feel right, someone who's being disrespectful to you, someone who does not make you feel good when you're around them. That's important. But a lot of times in speaking about sex and sexual partners, society focuses on the negative, okay? But if we think about those cords, now we can cut off and detach cords from people, or we can send conscious threads and cords to people to send positive energy for healing, okay? That snake that's on all medical symbols around the world, they're symbols of transformation, of healing, of sexual energy, of spiritual energy, of enlightenment. And the number 7 is also connected to transformation, okay? With that being said, a lot of times, there's a talk about the fire in the belly. That's one thing I speak about a lot because fire is my favorite element. But as women, we also want to think about that water in the belly. And water can also be rough. Water is not always gentle. Water causes hurricanes and tsunamis, and water can be very rough too. So we want to think about that yin, okay, water energy, which is connected to our kidneys, and the color blue is connected to our kidneys. The kidneys are the yin organ that connects to the yang, ovaries, uterus, and bladder. So what affects our kidneys affects our uterus, ovaries, and bladder. And the negative emotions associated with the kidneys is fear and not living in your power, not living your truth. So those things can then in turn affect your uterus, your ovaries, and your bladder, okay? And also, making sure that our internal organs are in the right place is another thing. I've been studying a lot over the past year with a woman named Pankazani in Long Beach, California. You can find her on Facebook at Indigimama. I'll put the information below. I highly recommend finding her and studying with her if you can. But she teaches Mesoamerican massage, teaching women how to feel and palpate where our internal organs are, feeling if they're in the right place, and putting them into the right place if they're not in the right place. And that's something that a lot of women get told their uterus is tilted a little bit to the left, tilted to the right, tilted a little bit back, and they're told it's not a big deal. But according to Mesoamerican medicine, it is a big deal because when stuff is not in the right place, it can lean on other organs, cause hormones not to secrete correctly, and then lead into, painful sex, bad menstrual cycles, fibroids, and cysts, and all these other things. So it's very important, okay? And also, when things are not flowing properly, when they're not in the right place, they don't flow properly, the energy doesn't flow properly, energy can be blocked, and that affects our orgasmic potential and just chi and life force that runs through us. We store all of our life force in our womb, right under our navel. Right under our navel, that is where we have our uterus, our ovaries, our bladder, and our digestive system coming around above the navel, but also below. So this is where we store our chi and our life force. And the ancient Taoists also spoke about the connection between our sexual health, our libido, and the health of our internal organs. So there is a connection between our libido and the health of our internal organs. Okay, meaning that if your sex drive is messed up and restricted for some reason, that can affect your internal organs in a negative way. But also on the flip side, if your internal organs are not in the right place, that can then affect your libido in a negative way. So it goes back and forth, and that's true with all different parts of the body. But our internal organs being in the right place. So focusing on, not having blockages here. And that's another reason why I'm a big proponent of dance. And specifically dances that require you to manipulate your hips in lots of fun, complicated ways, because it brings your consciousness here. It creates an elastic pelvis, which is what you want for, not just for sex, for moving energy, but also during birth. Okay, doing serpentine movements and learning how to contract and relax and connect and control can help in a time of birth when you want to work your baby out, okay? It can help during sex to help that kundalini rise. It's important to not just have strong muscles, but to have elastic muscles. Muscles that are tight, can stretch, go back to tight, and stretch and tight, elastic. You want elasticity in your pelvis, okay? And you want elasticity in your vaginal canal. Also, let me see other things I wanted to mention. It's really great to work your pelvic floor in the water. So water is really good place to do pelvic floor exercises. I was just in Costa Rica with Pakistani teaching a Matriz Mística workshop, intensive, 40-hour intensive that she and I taught together. And we had the woman go into the ocean and do lymphatic breast massage in the ocean. And I teach a form of breast massage that is more dealing with spirals, okay? And Pakistani taught a breast massage that was more lymphatic, where you are basically pushing down on the breast and pulling forward in different ways, and cupping and pulling forward in very, not super aggressive, but hard, forceful ways. Because the lymph in our breast needs to move. It can only move from massage and from shaking. That's why shake dances are very important. Shaking the breasts are very important. And letting them be loose and free. Okay, bras, you don't see goddesses in ancient art wearing bras. You don't see indigenous people, pre-colonial people wearing bras. Any place where it was hot, their breasts were out, okay? Their nipples were not covered with pasties or anything like that. It's important for the nipples to breathe. They are vortexes too, okay? There are a lot of women who don't have sensitivity in their nipples. And that's sad because the nipples and the clit are connected. There are pathways, neural pathways between the clit and the nipples. So if you find that you don't have sensitive nipples or you don't have sensitive clit, there are exercises that you can do to help increase that sensitivity. And a lot of it is mental, mentally connecting while you physically stimulate and letting your breast be free and not blocking that. Because when you have bras on all the time, they're restricting the lymph, they're blocking the nipples, they're blocking your breast energy. And that can have an effect. We women are vessels, okay? And our heart is where our breasts are. So the vessel needs to let go, it needs to release, it needs to overflow. So as women, we need to think about releasing more that water energy, that orgasmic energy. That is important for our spirit, and it's important for our overall health and our chi and our sanity. Okay, they are connected. Your brain and your sexual center are connected. That kundalini rises from the base of your spine up into your brain, where your spiritual center is. We don't store the energy up here, but enlightenment occurs up here. And then you bring that energy down and you store it in your womb, under your navel, where all those important sexual organs are, those reproductive organs are. So it's important that they be healthy as well. It's important that they be in the right place as well, okay? And orgasms have so many health benefits. There's so many different beneficial hormones that are secreted with orgasm that help to keep us calm and happy. Okay, so that energy flowing is important for our spirit and for everything, and for us being comfortable in our skin. And also, the same hormones that we secrete during orgasm are the same ones that we secrete at birth, especially at the height of birth, but the whole birth process. So being able to connect to contracting and relaxing, having a connection, being elastic, and being able to be in tune with our sensual pleasure can help birth go a little bit more smoothly. And this is not a cut and dry thing, because birth is very unpredictable. But being open as women, we're vessels, things come through us. So in order for things to come through us, we need to be open to, okay? There are times to be closed. Like after birth, you want to close. A lot of the after birth treatment of women in care is help close her and keep her warm, okay? But for things to come through us, we need to learn how to be open and open up and let things flow. let things flow, okay? So with increasing your orgasmic potential, to sum up this whole entire video, I highly suggest working with a yoni egg, or a puanani egg, as I like to call them now, because that will help to give you an energetic massage internally and help dissolve traumas and gently dissolve and transform energy. It also is a catalyst for that serpentine snake and helping to really build up sexual energy and build up that fire that you can help to cultivate. You can start cultivating that energy. Also touching yourself and being comfortable in knowing yourself. As a woman, if you have not had an orgasm yet, it is not because you have not found the right partner. It's because you yourself have blockages and are closed. So you want to touch yourself and see how that feels. Do definitely massage your breast. Work on clitoral and nipple stimulation at the same time, and breathing. And being gentle with yourself, okay? Also making sure that your internal organs are all healthy in here as well. So, and again, orgasmic energy and sexual energy are of the same continuum. And in the female path and female shamanism, the more sexual energy that we build up and cultivate, the stronger our shamanistic powers are, our dreams, and all of our superpowers and our health, okay? So I'm going to end this video with that, and please feel free to check my other YouTube videos, okay? Thanks for listening. I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please join my channel. Bye, guys.